In lesson 1, I mentioned to you that you are going to be able to practice for free. Most cases, WordPress is going to cost you some money, and I will explain over the duration of the 101 and the 102 courses exactly where you will need to dish out some cash towards what you want to do with your website, making career or hobby. But in this 101, you're going to do everything for free. And because of that, we need to set up an environment for you wherein you can do everything for free. And that means we're going to install a local web server on your computer. And if all those words scared the living daylights out of you, I'm here to tell you it's nothing to be scared of. It's an app that you basically need to install on your laptop or on your desktop to be able to work with WordPress. And then we'll have a quick look at hosting, just a quick introduction into hosting so that you know what's lying ahead in the future. I mentioned to you that we will need to install a local web server on your computer. And the reason for that is that you need to have an app that will allow you to create websites with. I don't want to get technical over this because you really don't need to know it. The bottom line is, if you want to practice for free, you can get an app on your computer that will allow you to run WordPress, that will allow you to design websites, and with that, you will be able to create websites and test it. So here on the left, you will see the first thing you need is that you will need a laptop or a desktop. I'm pretty sure you're already watching it on such a device. iPad and tablets, no, not going to work. You will need to go and sit down with a computer to be able to do this. Then the next component is data, which is your hard drive within your computer. And the third component is going to be your local server, the app that's going to run that for you. And that we are going to install. And then finally, we're going to get to WordPress. We've got these two. We've got a laptop or you've got a desktop and we've got hard drive in it. And now we will just need to install an app. And the app that we're going to be using for you, which is very easy to use, is called Local. As simple as that. And the link for that is in the description below. It will take you to the website, but let me show you how we're going to do that. Once you click on the link in the description below, it will bring you to this website, LocalWP.com. This is a local server to be used on your computer, specifically made for WordPress. Remember, there are many systems through which you can design websites. WordPress is just one of them. And this app is specifically made so that you can create an environment on your computer in which you can run WordPress. We need to install this first before we can install WordPress actually. You go to localwp.com and up here in the top right corner, you click on download. Choose your platform. You have Mac, Windows, Linux, all of these. I'm going to select Windows as I'm running on Windows. And then from here, you're going to fill in your details. And once you fill that in, click on Get It Now. After you submit, your download is starting and your download should start automatically. And if you don't see anything happening here in the bottom left corner of your web browser, then you just click there. This is almost half a gigabyte. I see it runs there at 469 megabytes and it will take you 1 minute. So let's fast forward into 1 minute into the future after it has downloaded. Splendid, it has finished downloading. So just scanning for viruses, and once it is done, click on it and it will open it so that you can begin the installation. And there we go. You go through the whole process. You have installed software before on your computer, right? So just go through this, install it, and then once you are done, launch it. And in my case, you will see here in the bottom in my taskbar, I have already local set up here. So you will find it wherever you have installed it, go grab it and open it. And this will open local for you, in which we will be running WordPress. Let's have a quick look at what's going on within this interface here. When you open yours for the first time, you see this list I have here under local sites. Yours will be completely empty. These are already websites that I have created. Quite a number, right? You can see, I think it's almost 20. I'm basically testing 20 different sites at the same time on my computer. And they are all here listed on the left. So from here, I can simply go into the website and I can begin working with WordPress. Now you've installed it. You can also log in and create a user account if you want to. If you don't want to, you can still just use it on your computer. No need to go and create an account. That is your local server. You're up and running. I've closed it. Close here. Let's go through that again. Down here, launch local. And you're ready to begin creating your first website. That we will do in lesson 3 to show you every step how you create a new website within local. Right, so we've got a computer, we've got some data, we've got a local server, and check, we have installed that. Then what is next? That is lesson 3, in which we will be setting up WordPress. So a few things on a local server. Technically, for all intents and purposes, your website that you will be creating in the local server isn't live. It's not like Amazon.com where people can go and they can start buying stuff from there. You don't share this with others. This is an environment in which you can practice and work on it. Yeah, you actually can share, but for us, we don't go there. We simply use it as an educational tool. 2, with local, you can create websites with WordPress and you can view them complete on your local server, which is your laptop/your desktop. So you can really do everything on your laptop without having to worry that it's maybe somewhere out there in the global market and people can actually see everything you are doing. That brings us to point 3. You saw all those websites in my local server. It's a lot, right? Every time I want to try something new, I quickly create a new website in WordPress within my local server. And this way I can make mistakes, I can mess it up, I can screw it up, and I can start again. Remember, #failforward. And finally, and most importantly, it's free. That's why we use it, because at this moment, we don't want to spend money on it. So your local server is set up, and then in lesson 3, we're going to go through the whole process, how you're going to set up a website with WordPress in the local server. So question, where are these websites normally located? For example, if you go to Websites for Beginners website, where is that? Where can you go and find that website's data? Is it on my computer at my house? Is that where you access it from? And the answer to that is no, it's not. And why not? There's a few reasons, many reasons. Let's start with a few so you can understand why Websites for Beginners is not on a laptop in my house. First of all, it means I need to leave my laptop running full on all the time so that when you want to access it, you can access it. Because if I switch off my laptop or it goes into sleep mode, it basically switches off. You're not going to be able to find my website. The second reason is that I sit here in South Africa. If you're sitting up there in Iceland, you're half the world away from me. And that makes it slower for you to get all the way to my laptop. So we try not to do that. There's a risk. If the power goes off here, which happens in South Africa all the time, we've got load shedding, or the internet goes down, which also happens a lot here, then you again cannot access my website. Another risk is security. Malware and hackers love to go for servers. If they can infect a server, they get into all kinds of websites of everyone. So I don't want to bear that risk. I don't want to have these never-ending security attacks. And finally, one day when my website reaches 1 million visitors per day, it's quite possible that if I'm running it here on this little laptop in front of me, it's going to break the internet. Well, only break my website because there's just too much volume for my little computer to handle when all those millions are flocking to my infamous website. And that's why I don't put a live global website and put it on the server in my laptop. So what do I do? And this is where we'll quickly talk about hosting. I find some people who are prepared to take that risk for me, and we call them hosts. And there are hundreds, maybe thousands of them around the world. Big names, smaller companies, and they provide this service for you. Of course, that means you're going to pay them a little something. So we get these other people, and I basically host my website on their server. So where I just installed this app on my computer, when I work with a host, I just work with their app. This is called hosting. So if you hear about a host or hosting, I'm talking about those other people out there that are taking all these risks and making it more convenient for people to find my website. The host is also responsible for making sure there's enough servers, because if you have a lot of people come to your website, it should be able to handle all of that traffic. Also, they need servers around the world. So you will often find that a host will have something in Asia, Europe, and America, Australia, to make sure that if I sit in New Zealand, I don't have to find a server from my host somewhere up in Russia. I can just find it down here in Sydney. It's closer. So the time it will take to get the data for the internet request is very quick. And finally, they are in charge of security. If your host cannot handle good security, they will go out of business very quickly. All of these means you can have peace of mind. However, you will need to pay them a little something, and sometimes a lot of something, to make sure that they can deliver this service for you. We'll touch on hosting again in the future. We'll look at a few hosts out there, and we'll discuss the ups and downs of choosing cheap ones over more expensive ones. In lesson 3, next, we will begin to install our first website, the one that you will be creating in this WordPress Ultimate Total Beginner's Guide 101.